Your menu is the single most profitable piece of marketing in your restaurant. Every guest reads it. Most of them read it for a full minute and a half before they order. And yet most restaurant owners have never rewritten their menu descriptions, and almost none of them have done menu engineering, which is the one thing that can lift your profit margin 10 to 15% without buying a single new ingredient. In this video, I'm going to show you two things. First, how to use ChatGPT to rewrite your entire menu with descriptions that actually sell. And second, this is the part almost nobody does, how to use ChatGPT to do a full menu engineering analysis. Figure out which of your dishes are making you money, which ones are secretly hurting you, and exactly what to do about it. All in about 30 minutes. Let's get into it. Before I show you the AI workflow, let me make the case for why this matters. The average restaurant guest reads the menu for around 109 seconds before they order. That's almost 2 minutes of their full, undivided attention on a piece of paper you wrote. No social media post, no Google ad, no email blast gets that kind of attention. The menu is your most important sales tool, and it's sitting in front of every single person who walks into your restaurant. And here's what the research says. Restaurants that do proper menu engineering, just reorganizing the menu, rewriting descriptions, and adjusting a few prices, typically see a 10 to 15% increase in profit per table. Not revenue, profit. That's the same guests, the same ingredients, the same kitchen, same staff. All you did was change the piece of paper. There are two levers that move the needle. The first is descriptions. Good descriptions don't just sell more food, they sell the right food. They steer guests toward the items that are actually profitable. The second lever is menu engineering itself, which is the math behind figuring out which dishes are working for you and which ones are quietly draining you. Most owners have never done either. Today we're going to do both, with ChatGPT doing most of the heavy lifting. If you've watched my social media or Google Reviews videos, you already know this step. We're giving ChatGPT the context of our restaurant first, so everything it writes sounds like us, not like a template. I'm specifically telling it to avoid the cliches. No mouth-watering, no to die for, because that's how AI menu descriptions usually read, and it's exactly what we're trying to avoid. Good. Now we can actually start rewriting the menu. Let's start with one dish, so we can see what a good description actually looks like. I'm feeding ChatGPT the dish name, the ingredients, and a couple of details. The farm it comes from, the fact it's summer only. Watch what it does with that. Look at that. It uses sensory language, the words you can almost taste. It names the farm without making it feel like a lecture. And it's 2 sentences. That's the sweet spot for menu descriptions. Long enough to make you hungry, short enough that a guest doesn't skip it. Now the real move. I'm going to feed it 5 dishes at once and ask for descriptions for all of them. This is the part that's supposed to take you an afternoon. 5 dishes rewritten in under a minute, every one of them in the same voice as the burrata. This is what I mean when I say ChatGPT doesn't replace your creativity, it multiplies it. You wrote the brand voice once, at the top of this chat. Now every description you generate from here on out is already in that voice. Maybe that voice is too polished for your restaurant. Maybe you're a gastropub, or a neighborhood spot where the guests know the bartender by name. Watch what happens when I ask ChatGPT to shift gears. Same dishes, totally different personality. This is the flexibility you get. You're not locked into the first version. If the tone doesn't match your room, you tell it to change. 30 seconds later, you have a new draft. One last move before we switch gears. Dietary tags. Restaurant menus that don't have these are costing themselves customers. Anyone with a dietary restriction will either ask the server and slow down service, or they'll order the one thing they know is safe and stop exploring the menu. Watch this. ChatGPT reads the ingredients, figures out which items are gluten-free, vegetarian, or contain nuts, and adds the tags automatically. If anything could be modified, like a burger that's fine gluten-free if you swap the bun, it flags that too. That's 5 minutes of menu work done in 5 seconds. Here's where most YouTube videos on AI for restaurants stop. They'll show you how to write descriptions and call it a day. We're going deeper. I want to show you how to use ChatGPT to do real menu engineering. First, let's have ChatGPT explain the framework. Read through this. Stars are the dishes that are popular and profitable, your heroes. Plowhorses are popular but low margin. They fill the dining room but don't really make you money. Puzzles are high margin but nobody orders them, hidden profit. And dogs are low on both. They're taking up menu real estate for no reason. Most restaurant owners have never once sat down and classified their menu this way. We're about to. Now we give ChatGPT the actual data: menu price, food cost, and units sold for every dish. For this demo, I'm using the numbers from our fictional restaurant, but in a real analysis, you'd pull this straight from your POS report. Look at that. ChatGPT just did the math on every single dish. Contribution margin, food cost percentage, menu mix percentage, and a classification: star, plowhorse, puzzle, or dog. And look at the surprises. The farm burger is a plowhorse. Sells a ton, but the margin on it is dragging the menu down. The grilled ribeye is a puzzle. Great margin, almost nobody orders it. The crispy Brussels sprouts? Star. Customers love them and they're cheap to make. And the chocolate tart is a dog. Take a second look. That's a candidate to cut. The analysis is cool. The actions are where this gets useful. I'm telling ChatGPT to give me one specific thing I can do this week for each dish. No generic advice. Look at what comes back. Raise the burger price by $1. It's the most popular item on the menu, and $1 won't slow it down. Pair the ribeye with a premium side at the same price so the ticket feels earned. Spotlight the Brussels sprouts at the top of starters with a customer favorite badge. And for the chocolate tart, bury it lower on the dessert list and plan to pull it next month if sales don't move. Your output won't match mine word for word, but the structure will. Every dish, classified, with one specific action for the week. That's a full menu overhaul plan in about 30 seconds. We know what each dish needs. Now we figure out where they go on the menu. There's actual psychology behind this. Restaurants that know what they're doing use a concept called the eye magnet zone. That's the top right of a single-page menu, or the top of each section on a multi-page one. That's where guests look first. Watch what ChatGPT comes back with. A 5-part redesign brief. First, placement. Crispy Brussels sprouts top right in starters because they're a star and they're cheap to make. The farm burger bolded and boxed in the middle of the mains, so the volume driver gets even more volume. The grilled ribeye near the top of mains to give that puzzle some visibility. And the olive oil cake leading the desserts. Second, renaming. Heirloom tomato burrata becomes garden heirloom burrata. Local halibut becomes seared wild halibut with market vegetables. Seasonal risotto gets relaunched as spring pea and lemon risotto. Chocolate tart becomes bittersweet chocolate tart. Each one gets a fresh 2-line description in the same voice we set up earlier. Third, pricing. Drop the dollar signs, drop the cents. Right-align the column. Studies show dollar signs activate what researchers call the pain of paying. Guests spend less when they're reminded it's money. Fourth, a decoy. Add a $58 dry-aged New York strip to the menu. Nobody has to order it. Its job is to make the $42 ribeye and the $30 halibut feel reasonable. And fifth, the kill list. Beet salad and chocolate tart get pulled next month if sales don't move, and the seasonal risotto goes back out under its new spring name to see if the relaunch lands. Your output won't match mine word for word, but the structure will. Placement, renaming, pricing, decoy, kill list. That's a full menu redesign brief in about 30 seconds. The ribeye is a puzzle. The numbers say people aren't ordering it, even though it's one of the most profitable items on the menu. The fix is almost always the description. I'm asking ChatGPT for 3 versions, each using a different persuasion angle. Provenance, the craft version. Sensory, the indulgence version. Occasion, the special night out version. Now you pick the one that fits your customer. Or you A/B test them. Change the description this week, change it back next week, see which one moves more ribeyes. That's how you turn a puzzle into a star. Now, here's the thing. ChatGPT is great for a one-time analysis, but you're going to want to run these numbers every month. Sales change, food costs change, new dishes get added. Doing this in a chat every time gets old fast. So I built a spreadsheet that does the whole menu engineering analysis automatically. You type in your dishes, prices, food costs, and units sold, and it classifies every item, flags your actions, and gives you a chart that makes it obvious at a glance where every dish sits. Links in the description. I'll also leave a discount code pinned in the top comment for subscribers. Use it every month. This and your POS report are all you need to know exactly where your menu profit is coming from. Let's recap what we just did. We set up ChatGPT with our brand voice. We rewrote a full set of menu descriptions with sensory language, adjusted the tone, and added dietary tags. Then we went where almost nobody goes. We ran a full menu engineering analysis. We classified every dish as a star, plowhorse, puzzle, or dog. We got a specific action for each one. We got a redesign brief with placement, naming, and pricing recommendations. And we rewrote our highest margin item 3 different ways to start moving it. All of that in about 30 minutes. The descriptions alone are worth it. But the menu engineering, that's the 10 to 15% profit lift I promised at the top of the video. Same guests, same ingredients, different piece of paper. Link to the menu engineering spreadsheet is in the description, with a subscriber discount code pinned in the top comment. If you missed my videos on saving 5 hours a week, building a full week of social media in 20 minutes, or responding to Google reviews in 30 seconds, I'll link those too. Subscribe for practical, no-hype AI tutorials for restaurant owners. See you in the next one.